I'm now joined from Israel by Middle East correspondent and also author Jotam Confino. Yoto, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, Israel's Prime Minister said today during a press conference with Marco Rubio that he doesn't rule out further strikes against Hamas leaders wherever they are. How provocative is this thinly veiled threat that appears to have come from the Israeli Prime Minister?
Yeah, as you're saying, it's thinly veiled, you know. He's saying this at the same time as Arab and Muslim leaders are meeting in Doha and condemning Israel from left to right, talking about a united front, wanting to punish Israel. So Netanyahu clearly feels emboldened. He got away with trying to assassinate Hamas leadership in Qatar. What stops him from doing the same in Ankara? The difference, of course, is that Turkey is a member of NATO, and that could trigger a huge diplomatic crisis if he started going after Hamas leaders in Turkey. But Netanyahu is trying to tell to the Arab and the Muslim world that the days where Hamas leaders feel like they have immunity in certain areas of the world, those days are over. And that is a very, very strong and harsh message to deliver at the same time that the foreign minister of the United States is standing right next to him, because it shows that even though there are many Muslim and Arab states who are willing to condemn and to talk about punishing Israel, Israel has the most important actor next to it, and that is, of course, the United States.
And was this a solidarity visit from the US as Israel, Yotam, just appears to become increasingly isolated on the international stage? Or was it proof that the two countries are still on the same page? Because obviously Donald Trump was unhappy about Israel's attack on Qatar.
It's a good question. First of all, it's my understanding that this visit was actually scheduled before Israel's attack in Doha. So to me, it doesn't look like necessarily a solidarity visit, but it does send a strong signal. Look, Marco Rubio could have chosen to go first to Qatar and then go to Israel to send a signal, but he chose to go to Israel first. And Marco Rubio is as pro-Israel as it gets. I would say that today, again, removes any doubt that there might have been that the United States stands behind Israel. Pretty much whatever it does. It doesn't matter if Israel is attacking Iran or going after Hamas leaders in Qatar, which is a close ally of the U.S. It's quite, I would say, amazing to see how much Netanyahu can get away with. And I'm pretty sure he has looked at Vladimir Putin and Russia to get an idea of how much you can actually get away with when Donald Trump is in the White House. And of course, for Netanyahu, it's much, much better because he's actually friends with Donald Trump, unlike Vladimir Putin.
Marco Rubio was in Israel as strikes intensify in northern Gaza. Did Israel give any answers about their view of a path forward in Gaza? Because Marco Rubio said those were the answers he was actually looking for ahead of this visit.
We didn't get any specifics, but we do know from facts on the ground that just today, Israel conducted another attack on a high-rise building, which is apparently another place that Hamas used to surveil and to store weapons and whatnot to attack Israel. They attacked another high-rise building inside Gaza City. They're doing this on a daily basis with the clear goal of removing as many threats from Hamas as possible before Israeli soldiers are going to be on the ground inside Gaza City. So the plan is continuing. Unless something amazing happens, unless a miracle happens in the coming week, Israeli soldiers will likely find themselves inside Gaza City and begin taking out Hamas. But it's going to be bloody because so far around 300,000 civilians have left Gaza City, which means that another 700,000 are likely still in Gaza City, which is that's a huge amount of civilians that could get caught between Hamas and Israel. But Marco Rubio said it very clearly again today that Hamas needs to be destroyed fully. So it looks as if even though Donald Trump really wants a ceasefire, he is giving Israel a green light to continue to finish the job, as he says.
And Jotam, Qatar's emir says Benjamin Netanyahu wants to turn the Arab region into an Israeli sphere of influence. As we did mention earlier, the Arab leaders are meeting at this emergency summit in Doha. In your opinion, how damaged are the relations following Israel's strikes on Doha? And as you said, a difficult message for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to relay while Marco Rubio standing next to him.
I think the Gulf nations have really gotten a reality check. They have for years thought that the United States were going to give them security guarantees, but they have experienced over and over that that's just not the case. When the Houthis attacked Saudi Arabia, or when Iran attacked Qatar, and now when Israel attacked Qatar again, it's really showing that these Gulf leaders, they might sign trillion-dollar deals with Donald Trump, but he's not coming to their rescue when they are being attacked. And this is something that's very worrying for them. I really think that the reason why they're so furious is because they realize that the only thing they really have in Donald Trump, they're deep pockets, and that's pretty much it. But he's not going to stop Israel. And this is a huge concern for them. So I think that, of course, this is going to strain the relations between Qatar and Israel. But as long as Donald Trump shields Netanyahu and supports him, I don't think it's going to really lead to any severe repercussions other than humiliation for these nations. There might be a lot of strong words also, but I would be surprised if we see something extreme, such as, of course, let's say the Arab Emirates cut diplomatic ties with Israel in solidarity with Qatar. I really don't think that we're going to see anyone going to those lengths.
Jotam Confino, thank you so much for your insights and analysis. Pleasure talking to you.